Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director, and I'm here with the captain. Listen, man, you can't wear that the whole time or I'll be seriously distracted.
Well, for our faithful fans, not listeners, viewers, for our faithful viewers.
Like the folks in Gallatin.
Like the folks in Gallatin, your mom and dad.
Yep, big fans of the
Coach
show.
Hester's mother and father.
They watch too?
Mimi is a huge fan.
Really?
Whenever
Still a fan.
Still a fan and a fact checker. And so whenever we say something incorrect, she calls Will, and Will calls me and says, hey, by the way, blah, blah, blah. And then we go back and correct it. But
So we've got my mom, my dad, my sister Jill watches a lot.
which Kentucky.
That's right.
I mean, we're
So
covering a lot of ground here.
And then we've got Mimi Hester,
Mimi Hester.
and she's fact-checking for us. It's great. Does she ever send anything to you saying you messed that up?
It all goes through Will.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when we correct it, she lets Will know that we corrected it.
So what did that have to do with you wearing that hat?
Well, for our viewers, if you're wondering why, there were so many boat races last week. I just said, let's just start the show off in boat captain mode. Fair
enough. I'm going to do the show like that. Hey, let's talk volleyball starting off.
Is it hard to take me serious like this?
Let's talk volleyball here, Tate.
I should put it back on, maybe?
Okay. Just leave it for later. We got two teams, no surprise, qualifying for the state, looking for repeats as champions. Obviously, football's getting going as well. Let's talk volleyball more specifically. Region champions, sectional, sub-state, whatever I know you're a fan of the word sectional, right?
No.
Oh, you like sub-state?
I like sub-state. The way it was supposed to be, intended to be. Like, I don't put cream in my coffee. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what that means.
It was always the sub-state.
Oh.
Why did we have to change it?
All right, I'm going to go back, because I like it too. I did that kind of for you.
Back when you were playing, when you were coaching at Beach?
Sub-state.
Sub-state. It was a big deal.
Very big deal. Nolensville, Brentwood, no surprise. Both of those end up not only winning the region, but also winning the sub-state / sectional to qualify for the state tournament that starts this week. And then congratulations to Coach Riker and Summit. They lose to Brentwood in the district final, the region final. Then they're going to the sub-state at Station Camp, and they lose a heartbreaker. In 5 sets. I believe that last set was 15-12. What used to be called the rally set, but it's all rally. You guys remember, viewers, I bet they remember, when you could only score on your serve at one time. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And matches would take like
forever,
4.5 days.
Right.
So now it's all rally scoring, but that last set only goes to 15.
And I will say this: I have a volleyball player in my household now. It's made it very exciting.
Very exciting. Absolutely exciting.
It's no downtime in volleyball. None.
So congratulations to Summit and Coach Riker, correct?
Yes.
The deepest they've ever made it.
Deepest they've ever made it. Hey, you just got to keep getting first, right? And in this conference or region, that's a big deal.
Very tough. Nolensville will start the state tournament, and by the way, their division is played at Blackman. Brentwood will play at Siegel. Couldn't get MTSU because of COVID-19 and the regulations they have there on campus. Nolensville 34-4, and I thought this was interesting. They start off playing Signal Mountain 18-16, and look, I'm not basing everything on records, but I'm telling you,
a lot of losses.
They're going to get blown out. I mean, we're going to have boat race style, volleyball style. Somebody's going to get something spiked on their head.
Coach Young? Do I need to let Coach Young borrow the hat?
I think he needs it. And Brentwood, how about this? Taking on Collierville 15-9. So they've played 24 total matches, 34 total matches, and our teams have that many wins.
Yes.
I feel pretty good about the first round.
First round, I think, is taken care of, without a doubt. Now, here's a question. This was a problem a couple years ago. Didn't matter, but Siegel qualified, correct?
Yeah.
For the state tournament.
That's correct.
And they're playing at home. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I think that would still happen.
Oh, I think it is, yeah.
They're not going to be switching that up.
No, they get to play at home.
I did look at the bracket, and Brentwood and Siegel would have to play in the championship of the winners bracket, which I think they will.
Oh, without a doubt. They're the two best teams.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Brentwood's last loss.
It is.
But again, it wasn't the 5-set because it's a big difference. Like you pointed out earlier, you being the volleyball expert,
Aficionado.
it's a big difference between winning in 3 sets and winning in 5.
Well, yeah. You being the tennis guy that you are, it's the same thing, right?
Right.
5-set match, you better bring your lunch pail. And, we're not into the excuse-making business. It doesn't matter. Brentwood wasn't at full speed, full strength. It's cool. Hey, what better way to win it than to beat them on their own floor? But they are good, so it's going to be fun. I think Nolensville might be cakewalk city. Maybe get a baker's hat for next week. This might be cakewalk
Again,
city.
not putting pressure on Nolensville.
No.
I think there's a chance they don't lose
Till 2023.
maybe a set or two the whole tournament. I know that's going to be difficult, but they're going to roll. They're going to roll. My prediction, I think yours too. Let's talk soccer. Congratulations to Paige, district runner-up to Central Magnet, so they qualify for the region tournament. Ravenwood defeats Centennial 3-0 in the championship, so now Franklin and Ravenwood move on. So since Franklin was the district champion during the regular season, that meant only the district champion would move on. So I do want to give a special shout out to Coach Williamson Centennial. What a year they had. And I give you credit, Tate. Last week you said there's going to be an upset. Centennial beats Indy in the first net round. Not really an upset, but 4-5, right?
Yes.
And then they turned right around and beat Franklin 1-0 in the semis after Ravenwood had beaten Brentwood in the semis. So congratulations to Coach Williams. First time, I believe, in 15 years that they've been to the final.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it. And, they got I saw where she tweeted it, and they were able to put that second place plaque up in the wherever they have their trophies. That was a big deal, man. Big deal. And that's always cool when you come back to where you went and get to start building that program. So that's the cool about the regular season moves on. I do like it, but then you see that and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah, kind of a bummer
tough.
for them.
That's tough, man. That's
The thing I do like about Coach Williams, you can just tell the way she presents herself and her team on social media, doing the things you do when you're a winning program. Hey, look at us. We're doing this tonight. Come out to the game tonight. Here's pictures of She's doing the things you do to get a really good program going.
That's right. And we've talked about it in all the other sports too, but you can either get on board with it or get left behind because everything's about excitement about your program. Unless you've won 17 state championships, and then you don't have to, but I'm sure somebody is doing a Brentwood volleyball Twitter account. I'm not sure it's Coach Campbell, but you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Then it's just like you just just keep putting the picture of.
I'll just leave this right here, a picture of the.
You'll
trophies.
be pinning that tweet.
That's right. See the previous 17 years.
All right, let's talk cross country. Franklin boys and girls both finished first at the James Clement Invitational, and then Battle of Buckner, which took place at Dixon County, led by Kevin Vanderkolk's second place finish. Brentwood's first, Ravenwood second, Indy third. So we get the top 3 teams. Nolensville 8th, Page 12th. On the girls' side, led by, Lee Walters, by the way, she finished first, but the Brentwood girls, juggernaut right now. They finished first, Indy second, Nolensville third, Ravenwood fourth. So we end up having the top 7 teams. I'm telling you, cross country, just like other sports, but cross country, we're really, 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 really good in cross country.
We are. We're really good, and we're going to be really well represented. But I do think, not so like in soccer, okay? Brentwood has really separated themselves from the rest of the pack. They're the clear number ones. You agree?
I'm going Franklin boys
Wow.
to win the state title, and I'm going Brentwood girls. Isn't that funny? We can just sit around here and talk about we just predicting people to win state championships.
Gurus, man.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's pretty special in WCS. I'm talking, of course, we're gurus. But I was going to say, just the fact that we can go on there and not sound like total clowns saying,
Right.
we're going to win the state title. There's like a real good chance.
Every sport.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Makes it fun for me.
Yes, sir. Leadership, man. It all starts at the top.
I'm sure I have a lot to do with it.
You
Like,
do.
like Coach Campbell's 7 straight state titles. I didn't even know Coach Campbell the first time they won one. So
I heard she said, I owe all this to our district athletic director.
well, I appreciate you saying that, Tate. Let's talk a little football.
Let's go.
Traditional rival. I was at this particular game. Brentwood 42, Franklin 20. Honestly, that score was a little closer.
Yeah.
Brentwood, 2 different times, they have 21 unanswered points. Franklin starts the game, touchdown by DJ Durham, and then Brentwood doesn't score till like 9 minutes left in the half. It's 7-0. Then they go on a run of 21 in a row. Second half starts, our man Taylor Spirito with the pick 6 for the Admirals, cut it to 21-13. And then what happens? Brentwood goes on another 21-0 run. The thing that's standing out to me more than anything about Brentwood this year, I think they've always been kind of known for that tough defense that they play. They do such a good job. But really, they're kind of an offensive machine.
Yeah.
I know we said that last week, but they really are.
No, you're right. It's kind of been their MO this year. You know, they score in spurts. If you remember the Henry County game, man, what was it? It was 28 points in 4 minutes or 21. Yeah, that one, it started off 7-0, and then second quarter, bam, they went on a run. So they've been doing a lot of that. And so what I take from that is they ever get 4 quarters together, it's going to be really special. But when they're all out there at the same time, pretty explosive. You know, they've had times when Walker's not there. And so, you know, now you got Walton, and you can't, you know what I'm saying? When they're all there and they're in full force, there's a lot of weapons and tough to defend them. And you know, we don't talk enough about it, but that offensive line is doing a great job protecting Granzel. So when they're all healthy, scoring a lot of points. This is the most explosive Brentwood offense I remember in a long time.
Granzel, I mean, we keep saying the same thing. Big night for him. Obviously, Luke Walters, also another big night, 14 carries, 133 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Walker Merrill, 12 receptions, 136 yards. But beyond all of that, the stat that really stood out to me, especially when you consider the line that Franklin has, they hold them to like 70 yards rushing. Now, don't get me wrong. Are they stacking the box, making them throw it? Maybe. But they sacked the quarterback 5 times. 5 different Bruins on sacks, by the way. So that really stood out to me.
Heck yeah. Against a good offensive line. Now, Amsler moved over to center before the game, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if that was somebody new was in there and you changed things out a little bit, but still, that doesn't take anything away from the Brentwood accomplishment. But yeah, man, that's a that's a nice win, and the way they did it is impressive. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. My man Stokely Donaldson sitting up there at number 26 at nose guard. Talk about a foxhole guy, man. He's not gonna show up on the stat sheet every time, but we've seen him play several times now, and man, if everybody plays with the motor he has on the defensive line, they're gonna be just fine.
And for Franklin, and not just because he's a big fan of the show, although it helps Taylor.
That's right. He does get bonus points.
8 tackles, a pick 6, 3 receptions for 75 yards. That's Plowman type of performance, right? Oh, yeah. We always talk about our man Cannon Plowman from Centennial, but very similar. I feel like maybe we're impacting that across the league, Tate, because I'm seeing more of these guys who are really loading up stats offensively and defensively. Maybe we're having an impact.
I think we are. I've heard that most staffs, when they're meeting on Sundays, a big part of the game planning is they tune into the Sports Connection.
Or maybe Mimi Hester is sending information into them.
Or maybe Taylor Spirito is a really good athlete, and what these guys are learning is you better have your good athletes on the field, doesn't matter where it is.
I think that's probably it.
I think so.
Carson Garner.
Kind of like you. What was the rule when Glover was on the court?
Let him shoot it.
Let him shoot it.
It's real. Jordan Bruce, let him shoot it.
Yeah.
Evan Sigler, let him shoot it. You know, if you can shoot, just go ahead and do it. Yeah. Carson Garner, another big night for Franklin. He's a guy we haven't talked a lot about, but you can kind of count on that guy to have a big game, 6 receptions, 76 yards, and then Connor Bevan, 184 yards through the air. Fairview, 40. Harpeth, 14. 40-0 at the end of 3. Logan Nardozzi with a couple of rushing touchdowns, also Brandon Cox and Morgan Jean with touchdowns rushing. By the way, this week's gym, Tate, 14 straight wins over Harpeth for Fairview. That dates back to 2004. That's a long time now.
It's a long time. I'm going to tell you how long ago it was. Mr. Producer needs to do a little fact checking. I'm willing to say that Marshall Winkler was the head coach at Harpeth the last
Wow.
time they beat him. Who you know from Franklin.
Wow.
Y'all missed each other, but
Yeah, but you
him.
know who he is if you're
That's
a
right.
Franklin guy.
I'm willing to bet he was the head coach.
We need to look that up, Mr. Producer. Maybe we can have that by the end of the show. Hey, and Tate, I have to admit, I had an ulterior motive to talk about streaks because there was another streak that was broken this weekend that has nothing to do with WCS.
I know.
My boys, the Kentucky Wildcats, with a 34-7 beatdown of Tennessee, had not won a game there since I was 13 years old, which, by the way, was a long time ago. 1984, it was 17-12 that particular day, and the head coach for Kentucky was?
Jerry Claiborne.
Jerry Claiborne did a great job there at
I was
Kentucky.
10 years old. I was a ball boy on that field.
You really were?
Yep.
Wow.
I remember it.
Because
My dad coached there.
the varsity.
The varsity was on there. JV was over there. Man, this is sad. I've told my kids, my wife. I'm embarrassed to this day, but it'd be like third down. I'd start waving my towel in the crowd and get loud, and I thought it was me getting them loud.
It was just something they did. They got loud anyway, right?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with me, but it felt cool.
And we've continued that on this show, taking credit for a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was, I know that we're not talking college football, but I'm telling you, when you beat someone 34-7, I think you just got to say, Kentucky's better.
Yeah, they have been.
Stoops doing a great job.
I go back to, hey, this is free. All administration. You hire a clown athletic director and put him in charge. Look at you think UT wishes they could rerun the clock about 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
Jeez, Manetti.
Got a good guy doing it now, though,
Yes.
who's in the process of getting it all turned around.
Look at Texas. Think they wish they had Mac Brown back?
North Carolina's glad it worked out the way it did.
Except for this past week.
And yeah, if these things
I
happen.
didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either. All right, Independence, 50.
Mitch Barnhart, y'all got a good AD.
Great
Congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you, Tate. Independence, this wasn't a surprise, 56-0. It was the WCTV game of the week. One thing I did want to mention, I know last week you said that Coach Blade would let up a little bit. It was 49-0 at the half, so I guess he
And you
let.
said he wouldn't.
So, I mean, maybe because they only scored 7 points in the second half. They were on pace to win 98-0. So, anyway, big games from Jackson Campbell again, Trey Hartwell, Bryce West, Tyler Condra with the touchdown receiving. That's a name we haven't mentioned much, so I wanted to mention Tyler. Also Calvin Wilson. And then on the defensive end, Brooks Sapone with the pick six. And here's our WCTV play of the week. It's also a defensive play for Independence.
Do you have a delay a game off an incomplete
I think-
pass? I am shocked at this.
I think the center was the one that
Here we
noticed
go.
the
Oh!
and bowled over
Oh! They got to pick it up. This could be the WCTV play of the week.
Indy on the punt recovery on the
Is he going to get caught? No!
on the fumble recovery. That's number 23, Tommy Monahan.
Man, you see it. It was a jailbreak. The ball comes out. Monahan's like, hey, wait a minute. I got it right here. And the big fella, he's going to outrun. And this is number 10 for Dixon County.
That's Schrader again.
Schrader, he's been in a lot of plays.
Been in a lot of foot races tonight,
Yeah.
and that was one of them.
Tommy Monahan, rumbling, mumbling, stumbling. Whoop! Berman,
85 yards, wasn't it?
85 yards. I think they need to get him out for the track team. He could go. Brees missed it. He set it up for a tee on the call. Brees should have nailed that. Whoop!
I bet he's regretting that. He's watching this, but another fan of ours, by the way.
No doubt.
Now we can almost get to hand two for regulars kind of fans.
That's
you take
right.
out family members and it goes down back a little bit, but
That was a
Other
big
than-
play.
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. How about Nolensville? We thought this would happen too. 42-0. The stat there that is not surprising, our man, he's just one of those guys that can score. Samson Johnson, what's he do, Tate? 15 carries, 105 yards,
4 touchdowns.
like a broken record, in a good way.
Broken record, man. The guy's legit. Sophomore. He scored every 3-point-something times he touched the ball.
Coach Derrick, get him the ball more.
It's real easy. Hey, hand the ball off to Samson.
How about Chance Fitzgerald had a receiving touchdown, also one on a kickoff,
Yep.
which I thought was pretty cool. Interceptions for Eric Harper, Mike McWilliams, Braden Rose. McWilliams also led Owensville in tackles with 7. Complete domination. Again, this is one you talked about. You just rewind a couple of years ago. That was a big game. Maplewood taking a pretty big drop.
Yeah, big time. It's that used to be for the region championship. Now the one we're getting ready to talk to in a little bit is for the region championship. I hate to see that, but I don't know. I don't see that getting any better either.
Maybe my favorite game of the week for some different reasons.
A lot of reasons.
Page 28, Columbia 10. Big region win for the Patriots. And I'm going to tell you, they're 3-3 now. I think maybe we've not us, but I don't know if people appreciate what a great job that Coach Rathbone's doing. They've got a lot of young players out there playing. They're 3-3. They're going to be 4-3 after this week, by the way, and they still got a shot for second place in the region. Probably going to be third, but they've got a shot.
Yeah, got a shot, and it really is unbelievable. But we've talked about that forever, man. Coach Rathbone, he likes to be. He doesn't want to be up front and center in front of everybody. He likes to be in the shadows, but you can put up what he's done the last 10 years up against. It's right up there with everybody else. He does a great job, man. He's a great coach.
Jake McNamara, the sophomore, who just gets better each game. Couple touchdown passes there in the first half. Gunnar Guest, Easton Snyder, and really the big momentum change of the game. It's 13-7 late in the first half. It's 1st and goal for Columbia, and they end up having to kick a field goal. So going in at halftime on the road to keep them out of the end zone had to be a pretty big deal for Page, and I think that momentum just carried on through the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're getting better, and we've talked about it. Coach thinks McNamara can be one of the best to ever pull the trigger there at Page, which is a huge statement. So they just keep getting better. And remember, Columbia defeated Owensville. I mean, that's a nice win right there.
It is. Columbia, and after their first possession of the second half, after that, they only got to the plus side of the 50, 2 more plays the rest of the game. It's big time.
You mentioned Easton Snyder plays. He's a playmaker.
Would I call him Easton? I'm glad you.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, I'm glad you stepped up.
Yeah. He makes plays both sides of the ball every game. He keeps showing up. They got it going on, man. I don't know that anybody's going to want to see them first round of the playoffs.
I agree. Cason Walker, a name, last name we're familiar with. 2 interceptions, 1 a pick 6. A lot of pick 6s, whether it be UK-UT or our games this week. Lots of pick 6s that are on the stat sheets. You notice that?
Yes. I like the pick 6s in the WCS much more.
Ravenwood 48, Smyrna 10. Again, I'm feeling kind of proud of myself this week. I guess that maybe that Kentucky game got me going a little bit.
Yes.
But I mentioned on this show last week, I don't think we need to roll the tape or rewind the tape. We talked about, I said it was going to be a blowout. You asked me what that meant. I said 20 or more, 25 or more.
You did.
48-10. Ravenwood 48, Smyrna 10. They scored the first 21 points. They're up 35-3 at the half. Trevor Andrews throwing touchdowns left and right, 16 for 21, 5 passing, 1 rushing, 3 of those passing touchdowns to Jake Brenningstool. And you got a little inside information on maybe a little motivation that was going on in Raptor land.
Well, I think they kind of had to circle the wagons over off Wilson Pike this week, and they took the decals off the helmets. I think maybe I'd leave the decals off the helmets for a little bit. They came out with a purpose and played really well. Now remember, Smyrna's probably going to win that other region. So I don't know, man. Looking good for Franklin, I think. Franklin was in the Ravenwood game, but that's the best team in that region. And like you said, it was 35-3 at half.
Wow. Miles Pollard led Ravenwood with 5 tackles. Lee Millette, Ross Johnston receiving touchdowns. Justin Smitherman a rushing touchdown. Here was a late ad, by the way. Centennial wasn't going to be able to play this week. It had been a couple of weeks. They decide Ensworth has an opening on Thursday night. That game was added. The positive news, they got to play.
Yep.
The negative news, they get beat pretty handily. They're down 26-0 at the half, but again, an opportunity for those young guys to play. Josh Forsey, 21 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown for Centennial. Cannon Plowman also a rushing touchdown on 74 yards. Do you like that, adding the game, no matter if it was maybe a team that you're not
I think so. I talked to Coach Kreisky, and I said, hey, just wondering what was the thought process. He said, I want to give our kids a chance to play. This is the only game we could get. They want to play. We're going to give them a chance to play. I like it. They're not going to the playoffs due to the Franklin, so let's get them as many games as we can get. I'm cool with it.
Final game of the week, it was actually canceled on Thursday. Or actually, it was Friday, I believe.
Devastated, man.
So
Friday.
Summit gets the win because Shelbyville can't play. Shelbyville gets the no contest. Summit ends up region champions, and they played 2 games. They were going to be region champions.
I think so.
But
I was excited
They only
about
played
this
2
game.
games.
Yeah, and man, we could go on. So there is a chance, well, it's a very small one, but Summit could lose to Lincoln County, right? So Summit wins the region championship, even though they could still get a loss. Shelbyville can finish, because this is not a loss for Shelbyville, right?
That's right. But it's number of wins.
I don't know how I feel about that. Number of wins?
Number of wins in the region.
Right.
So they got to win over
over
Shelbyville because Shelbyville couldn't play.
No, it's not a loss.
No, but it's a win for.
Yeah, but Shelbyville could not have. Yeah, it's.
Well, so are you saying for Shelbyville being second? Or are you saying for Shelbyville being first?
Yeah, Shelbyville can't be first.
Right.
Because it's wins. They don't take into account that loss.
That was your concern.
Well,
that they might get kind of a.
It's just jacked up.
Yeah.
Summit's going to beat Lincoln County. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is like that's a rule. It's a dumb rule, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
But at least we're playing.
And Summit wants to win it on the field. Coach Coleman already said that.
But at least we're playing.
Oh, no doubt.
Right? We'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take what we can get. All right, let's talk about this week's game. I think the game of the week is that first one I've got listed there.
Oh.
Brentwood 6-2, 3-0 in the region versus Independence 5-1, 3-0 in the region. It's a game that was canceled earlier. They were able to make it up. Brentwood wins. They're three-peat on region championship. Indy wins. It gets a little bit tricky. Then you were going to next week's game. If Ravenwood could beat Indy, then you've got a 3-way tie, and it gets a little bit cloudy. But I think without question, it's the game on the docket this week.
Well, and doesn't it, if it goes to a 3-way tie, doesn't it go to overall wins or no?
I know it's head-to-head.
After head-to-head.
I'm not sure about that.
And, hey, shout out to Knoxville Catholic and Pearl Cone for working with both of these teams. This game had to be done, and from what I understand, they were both very accommodating. So that's cool. You always like to see that.
And we would do the same.
I would hope so.
We would.
I would think so.
We would. Centennial at Pope John Paul, another tough game for the young Cougars. It's obviously a very much improved Pope John Paul team. They're 6-2. They have a win over Franklin earlier in the year. Fairview, don't let the class size fool you. 6A versus 3A, they're going to Dixon, who's 1-7. Fairview won this game last year, 35-16. And I'm telling you, Fairview is hitting their stride. They are.
I agree. I don't think this game bodes well for Dixon County. Again.
It's like that's another repeat. We can put that. We need like a just hit the button. Not many have.
Are you willing to go boat race?
It'll be over 20.
Yeah.
I don't. Let's talk.
So blowout. You're going blowout.
I just got the old. I got the old
blowout
school.
city now.
Here's another game, and I apologize to Nolensville because they may be going, hey, this is the best game, but it doesn't involve 2 WCS teams.
Correct.
Another game that was rescheduled from, I think it was October 2nd. This one's for the region championship. Nolensville 4-2, 3-0 in the league. At Tullahoma, 8-0, 3-0 in the league. I'm going to tell you this. I feel better about where Nolensville's at right now than they were October 2nd. So in terms of winning this game, I think they've got a better shot now than they did then.
100%. I think this worked out in their favor for sure. Still going to be a tough one. It's not easy to win there, but you're right. I think Nolensville is playing really good. I think they got a better shot now than they did back then.
Paige, you already mentioned this, going to Lincoln County, 3-3, 1-1 in the league, taking on a 1-2 Lincoln County team. Then Franklin, they were supposed to play Nolensville. Again, they accommodated them in order for Nolensville to play Tullahoma. At the time of this show, they haven't found a replacement. Ravenwood has a bye. It was supposed to be Cane Ridge, but they added IMG earlier, which meant they wouldn't play this week. And then Summit also has a bye this week. So those 3 teams will not be in action. Let's talk pick'ems. Fans keep voting on WCS athletics, WCSCO athletics. Again, vote on all the games. Last week, you and Dr. Qualls go 6-1. The Fans and I go 7-0. So now we have Qualls with 35 wins, the Fans with 37, and Knotted in a first-place tie at 39. Myself and the
Pretty
captain.
tight.
It's tight. But you separated, I think, about playoff time last year. So you're just laying low.
Laying low. I don't know.
Trying to make me feel good about
I think
myself.
there might be some differences this week.
I think so, too. In fact, let's get right to the picks. I think the first one could be different. Let's see. And I'm going to let you pick first, Tate.
I'm struggling.
Brentwood versus Independence at Brentwood. What say you, Tate Mathews?
I am struggling. I think probably 2 weeks ago I would have picked the Indy Nation, but I'm going to go with Brentwood. I think they got too much firepower, but this is not a 10-7 game. This is going to be a shootout. I'm going the Bruins, in case you didn't, that was unclear.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This one's a tough one for me, too. It's a really tough one. But
I can feel your competitive juices flowing here. All the way over here, from my socially distanced chair over here. I can feel it.
I'm going to tell you this.
You're getting ramped up.
I'm just trying to think back. I feel like in the last 2 years that I haven't really picked Independence when it's like a maybe or I'm going with Scott Blade and the Indy Nation on this. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going with Independence. I don't know Coach Blade wants to act like he doesn't watch. He knows.
He has people that watch and then fill them in.
I'm going Independence.
I like it. It's not. I'm still going Brentwood, but that's a strong pick.
Centennial at Pope John Paul. Pope John Paul, in my opinion, just has too much for Centennial. Good for Centennial being able to play another game, but that's going to be tough on the road. As bad as I hate to do it, I'm going Pope John Paul.
Me as well. I hate it for Centennial, but hey, you know what it is. You got 2 more games left. They are so young. Play free, have fun, go out there and let's shock the world. It's going to be tough, but still, you got 2 more games guaranteed. Have fun.
Fairview at Dixon. You're going
Fairview.
Fairview. I agree. Fairview.
And I'm with you. No, I'll say it. Boat race. 35. Now, he might sub at the end and them catch up a little bit, but at some point, there will be a 35-point differential.
Next game.
Are you going Dixon?
I'm going Fairview. I'm going to Fairview. Next game, my pick, Nolensville at Tullahoma. Paul Derrick and Nolensville playing well, hitting their stride. It's going to be too much Samson Johnson. I'm going with Nolensville on the road for another region
Shocking the
championship.
world, baby.
I'm
Not
going
really
with Nolensville.
shocking the world.
I'm going with Nolensville.
I like it. Coach Derrick's got a good plan. Coach Derrick has the same hairstyle as I do. He stuck with the visor last Friday. He'll be busting out the palm beanie this Friday night. Tullahoma boat race Shelbyville. Okay, normally I don't have a whole lot of faith in Tullahoma. They boat race Shelbyville. I think Nolensville keeps getting better come the playoffs, but I need to separate this thing a little bit more. I'm going Tullahoma Wildcats.
Wow, so we have 2 games that are different. So we'll see how that works out.
I hope it doesn't happen, but
Last game's your pick, Page, Lincoln County. I think
I don't
we
know what
agree
to
on
do.
this one.
When I pick against Page, they win, and I want them to win. When I pick them, they don't.
What are you doing?
I'm going with Page.
Oh, I'm going with Page. I thought we were going to have 3 that were different.
Yeah.
I'm going with Page, too.
I mean, they prove me wrong.
And they're going to be 4-3.
And I think they're getting better.
I do, too.
McNamara is going to – Lincoln County, do you know how many points Lincoln County gave up to Shelbyville?
I do not.
66. McNamara, Eston Snyder, big days. Big days.
Tate, appreciate you being here. Mr. Producer, did we get any clarification on the Coach Marshall Winkler statement that my man Tate had earlier? Did we get any clarification there?
All right, guys. My extensive research here has shown that Marshall Winkler retired from Harpeth in November of 2004. So there you go.
Mr. Mathews coming through again. Marshall, don't call me the Fonz.
That's right.
Henry Winkler. Bryce Marshall, not Henry.
Correct. Distant cousin.
I'm impressed
Yes.
that I pull out the gym and then you pull out who the coach is.
That was the nugget right there.
That was definitely
Hey,
the
they had
nugget.
some really good teams. Really good teams.
Looking forward to
Tate
this week's
brothers.
games. Looking forward to this games. And 2 volleyball state championships. That's what I'm looking for.
2 volleyball state championships. It's going to be awesome. I'll meet you at Snappy's Friday night after the game, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you guys for joining us again this week for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.